Hello everyone and welcome to the ESC Daily Show, our first episode of this Eurovision season, live from Turin. My name is Steve van Gorkum and tonight I will be joined by Erik Bolks. You work for OJE the Netherlands, but of course most importantly you are a long-time Eurovision journalist. So tonight we're going to be talking about a lot of topics that are going on right now at this year's Eurovision Song Contest. But let me start with this. How do you feel to be in Turin right now?
Well, bienvenuti a Torino, eh? We started in Italy, so we start to get the spirit of Italy. It's starting to get alive. Now it's starting to get the heart feeling, you know. When you get to the city, the Eurovision feeling starts to grow and to grow and to grow and to grow. So yes, I'm happy to be here and looking forward to this new Eurovision season.
We also have a lovely apartment here with a garden where we can record this show and with great neighbors. Well, not right now, but we were told that in the second week in that apartment right over there will be part of the Spanish delegation, a backing dancer from Chanel.
Ah, yeah, why bring singers if you have a dance act indeed, yes. Oh, it was very nice. Maybe we can catch a scoop there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it would be nice to... if we're walking out of the apartment looking for to buy some breakfast somewhere and then all of a sudden you meet someone from a Eurovision delegation, it gets you in the right mood, don't you think?
Yes, let's do it slow-mo.
Let's do it slow-mo. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk to you about is a topic that's very current right now. It's because we had a press release from the EBU this morning, which was about the Eurovision stage. Right, there was supposed to be a sun element on the stage with a lot of lights, LED screens, and basically the EBU told us this morning that it doesn't turn as it's supposed to.
Yeah, it seems that there are elements that are not moving the way they planned it to be, and it has to do with LED screens, it has to do with lights, so delegations had to alter their acts and just a little bit to tune it and to tweak it. Yeah, so let's see what happens the coming week, because we haven't seen that much yet, and see if they improvise on the stage.
It's a shame because they put a lot of time and effort into it, and now it doesn't work as they intended it to. That also means that a lot of delegations who've been planning their act for a long time have to make very last-minute changes. For whom do you think that will have the most impact?
I think it will have the most impact for the delegations who had really great, ingenious thoughts about how to use this whole quite elaborate prop on stage, because it's quite there, you know. And personally, I think it's a little bit big and limiting to the act. But now that you have to alter your act, those who made the most use of it will have the biggest problems adjusting. But on the other hand, if they used it a lot, they probably have a lot of know-how on what could be done. So if you know the subject, you're good at it, you can alter it. So let's see.
It is that time of the year when delegations are talking with the host broadcaster, with the organizational team, to try and fine-tune their act and try to have that perfect camera shot, the right LED projection or whatever. We made a great report about that last year when we followed, I think the Danish act it was, in Rotterdam, trying to get every shot and everything at their staging right. So let's take a look at that to see, to get in the mood of what kind of stage of the Eurovision season we're currently in.
Nice first run.
The lighting is much better.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm really happy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well,
So much better.
that's the way how to go. My name is Twan van der Nieuwenhuizen. I'm head of contest, and together with my team we try to create all the plans and ambitions for the 39 delegations. You missed the compliment. They really like it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So much better the lighting.
Thank you very much. Nice to
For
hear.
our taste.
Well, we did open up in January just by introducing ourselves to all delegations, because they don't know us and, well, we of course don't know them. And I really believe that when you know each other a bit and talk to each other, it's more easy to understand what you try to achieve. And of course they have to tell us this is a song and this is the singer or the artist. But also they should provide us a look and feel briefing where they, well, tell us something more about the act, about the staging, and well, something more. For most of the countries that means a lot more. So of course they have very elaborated plans, maybe some visuals, videos, everything.
Last one will be with pyro, right?
Yeah,
Do they know the
I will inform them. Yeah,
people on stage?
Be aware, we're also going to use pyro.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the first time when everything really comes together, and that's exciting. And also, of course, not everything works, so that's it's not plug and play. It's okay, have a look, have a run, do it again, maybe make some improvements, make some adjustments as well. So when they hear, it's never done. Each rehearsal, the acts will grow and get better and better and better.
Twan van der Nieuwenhuizen, he was the head of contest for Eurovision 2021 in Rotterdam. He's also the head of contest for this year's contest. That means that he has to deal with changes like this. And as you heard him say in that reportage we made last year, it's very important to him, and that's his job, to make sure that all delegations are treated equally. So when they found out that this element couldn't turn, some delegations wanted the lights up front, others wanted the LEDs up front. And the press release from the EBU said they're going to go with lights up front for all delegations. Does that now mean that we're going to see less LED use this year?
I'm not sure. Of course, we haven't seen that much yet because there was not that much footage released, so that has to be seen.
All right, so in the upcoming days that of course will change, but let's talk a little bit about that right now, because we've had a strange start to this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Because it started on Saturday already, we're here now, it's Tuesday now, and only from tomorrow on will we actually see rehearsal footage, because in the first couple of days the rehearsals were closed for journalists, and only short clips were released, and only on one social media platform, which was TikTok. What do you think about this decision by the EBU?
It's a bit of a weird decision. Of course, this first rehearsal round is always a little bit exercising and seeing how things work on stage. But you can also use it for the delegations to get feedback from the fan press. And they know, and they will watch everything. They will report every sigh of the singer and everything that was wrong. So you can adjust your act. So now they have only one round for this feedback to come back to the delegations and alter their act. So in that kind of way, I think this is not a that wise decision by EBU to give the content only to TikTok, especially because the content we got to see was really like too short.
It didn't help much. It didn't tell us much.
It didn't tell us much. We could tell more from the pictures they released than from the clips they saw. And it's always about the act and not about the photograph you can take. So.
But do you really think that the fan press works as a kind of feedback, that delegations take them that seriously?
I think they should take it seriously because those people are dedicated to the Eurovision and they have the history of what happened and how things went. So, of course, you should not listen to everything they say and you have to make up your own mind. But if everybody says, please change that outfit, because that will be the general feeling, because these are people who were not in your team and not being just friendly to you.
Are they representative, though, of the 200 million people that are going to watch the Eurovision show?
Maybe not,
on
but
TV?
At least it's a different group than the group that has been focused on this act all the time. So it's a peer view from outside. So you can take it seriously. I would take it seriously, actually.
There's also another thing, though, aside from the delegations that want and maybe need this feedback, which is not from a delegation's point of view, but from, let's say, a public point of view, is that most traditional media, of course, only arrive in the second week. And then there is a large group of people who are not here in Turin, who are at home, and who... I mean, it's kind of a... I mean, I don't want to make this too heavy because it is the Eurovision Song Contest. It's not the war in Ukraine. But it is kind of a free press issue as well, like a freedom of information for people at home who now don't get to see a lot during these first couple of days.
True, and I would like to add to that it doesn't help to get the buzz going, to get the start of the feeling of the fans. The fan press are always here first moment, first reporting everything and getting the spirit up. So in that kind of way, I don't think it's a wise decision to keep this footage exclusive via TikTok and so minimal. It doesn't add to the social vibe, you know what I mean? So I hope they come back to it next year.
So an interesting couple of days to come then, now that we are going to see a lot of countries, well, all of the countries for us for the first time.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's move on to the next part of the show, because at the beginning we talked about all the current events now. Let's move on to the opinion part, because I've asked you to prepare a thesis for this show, to come up with an opinion that is going to challenge me, basically, and I'm going to try to challenge you, because you chose to talk about Ukraine, which is a big story, of course, in this year's Eurovision Song Contest.
Actually, it's the pink elephant in the room, isn't it? And my thesis is that Ukraine is gonna win, but not for the right reasons.
Okay, so what are the wrong reasons, or what would be a right reason?
Well, the right reason would be you're the best act, your best performance, the best song, the best composition, the best total package that everybody appreciates the most. That's the best, what you want.
As it has been in Eurovision.
Most of the times, yes.
All right.
And the thing now happening is that because of this war going on, it's in everybody's mind. So the moment Ukraine gets on the stage, everybody thinks, oh yeah, that's horrible, and we all feel it. But then, because people are powerless and feel powerless as well, the only thing they can do is vote for Ukraine, and they will vote for Ukraine, just to help them in a kind of mental way. That's what I think. And I think that will...
And that wouldn't be right.
It would be right for your own emotions, but it would not be right for the Eurovision contest as a contest. And it would not be right for the other musicians to be set apart just because the others get the pity vote, as you call it. So in that way, I think it would not be for the right reasons. Let's be clear, the song is good. In a normal year, without the war going on, I think it would have ended up 8th till 12th place, probably, because Ukrainians always have this history of really pumping up their act. So it always is like a good act. It's not coincidence that they always qualified for the final. No?
Yeah, but I would say that the 8 to 12 would probably have even been, without all of this going on, a disappointing results for them. They've had top 10, top 5 entries for so many times. Why wouldn't this a potential televote bomber, even without all the reasons you just mentioned, why couldn't this have been a potential televote bomb either way?
Because now, because of the war, they had less time to prepare. That's what they said in interviews as well, I think.
That is true. Well, before we continue this conversation, let's take a quick look at that, because there was indeed a press conference with Kalusha Orchestra. There was no press in the room yet, but there was a press conference, and they were asked what the influence of the war was on their country and also on themselves.
Так, звичайно, що впливає на кожного українця. І навіть якщо говорити про Євробачення, то довший час ми не мали змоги разом зустрітись, щоб провести репетиції. Ми репетирували онлайн, і зараз нам приходиться доволі таки в екстра режимі проводити репетиції. Але все буде добре. За рахунок нашої працелюбності ми відрепетируємо дуже і дуже добре наш номер.
Of course, it affects the lives of every Ukrainian. Even for us, we did not have an opportunity to rehearse all together for a long time. But now we're doing it in an extra mode. And since we are very hardworking, we're doing everything possible, everything we can to make it happen.
Thank you.
Less time to prepare for Kalush Orchestra for this year's Eurovision Song Contest. They are still the bookies' favorite despite all of that, and they are your favorite. At least you're predicting that they are going to win the Eurovision Song Contest, but for the wrong reasons. That's your thesis that we're talking about right now, and I would argue that Eurovision has never really been that way, because we've had theories like this before. We've had people claiming bad results would happen because of the Iraq war. I've heard you claim at a certain point in 2014 Belgium was going to win because of Mother's Day. That didn't happen. So we've had
of course.
Of course. But on a more serious note, we've also had war in Europe in the 1990s. We've had artists from Croatia, from Bosnia participate in Eurovision. At a certain point, a singer from Bosnia who had to basically...
His arm in the bracelet, yeah.
He had to literally escape a city that was under siege to participate in Eurovision. He didn't win by a long shot. What makes you think Ukraine would be any different?
Because then there were several countries from that region suffering from a war, and it was not that typical clear who was the aggressor, and this time everybody, I think, in Europe will agree that Ukraine is here the victim, and people tend to help victims. So if you can give a little support, you will give the support, and you cannot go there and shoot. You can vote and give them a little bit mental support. If that is what you can do, you do it. I think it's only a human reaction, maybe almost.
And yet you think people shouldn't.
Not if from a contest perspective. And I think the EBU wouldn't mind Ukraine winning because it will be historic and epic and everything, and they will relate back to it in 10 years and say, oh, see, Ukraine won, and then we made a big statement, while they're not trying to be political. So I would not like to have a winner that everybody says it won because of the war instead of because of the quality or because of the great performance. So in that kind of perspective, I think it would not be for the right reasons to win. If they win, I'm happy for them, but actually a runner-up would be good. No?
We're talking a lot about public support right now, about televote. Of course, Eurovision is decided on a 50-50 vote.
Yeah.
So if what you're saying is true, and if Ukraine is going to get a massive, let's say, pity vote on a televote, even if that happens, don't you think a jury might behave in a different way?
Not in this case, I think, because it's so full in the news that even expert jury members still have feelings and will rank it maybe a little bit higher. Not rank it low because of tempering the televote, but well, if you like the song, you can like it just a little bit extra maybe, and then you're there. I already said, without the war, it would have been 8th or 10th place, 12th place probably as well.
But that's still a far way out, points-wise. Because if you look at points, the points you need to get to 8th or 10th place, or to get to a victory, that's a couple of 100 points that you need extra.
Yeah.
That's a big gap.
But then again, if you get points from every country in the televote, like 10 or 8 or 12 points, then you have this Salvador Sobral victory, and then no jury can help that.
With one more time, just for the thought experiment,
Yeah.
without the war, do you think that this would have been a jury-friendly act or not? Because I've been going back and forth on this, just looking at it from a musical perspective. On the one hand, you have these really ethnic elements, which juries tend not to like.
No.
You can say that it's kind of a hot mess, let's put it that way, like in the performance that it is. Which would be red flags for juries. At the same time, it's also a hip-hop entry, which maybe not a lot of people know, but statistically, generally, hip-hop is a genre more appreciated by juries than by televoters. Which way are you leaning, excluding your own thesis that the war is going to influence this voting?
I tend to think that expert jury members will also weigh in the fact that this song has become a hymn in Ukraine itself and appreciate it for that because of that knowledge. So the effect of music on people being proud of your country and singing about your mother, actually it's your country, I think they will weigh that in their vote as well, even if they're experts, or just because they're experts, maybe. Because in that way the composition has proved to be strong.
All right. Your opinion's very clear. I'm not sure I agree with you, but we have more than a week to discuss a lot more, and we'll be talking about Ukraine more on this show and on all of our other outlets on ESC Daily as well. But for now, let's move on to other candidates for victory, because Ukraine, as you said in your thesis, is your #1 candidate right now. But there are others, obviously. Who are the let's say the outsiders then for you?
Outsiders, okay, but strong outsiders then.
Right.
If it had not been with Ukraine, I think that Italy, Norway, or what's the other one? Italy, Norway, and Poland, maybe, and the UK would be very strong contenders.
Right. Okay. So in the next couple of days, because we're moving on from our opinion section to the preview part of our show, of course. In the next couple of days, we said it already, we're going to see rehearsals for the first time. We're very excited about that. We're going to see all these countries for the first time to see how their performance is staged, how it will look, how the camera shots are being done. These 3 countries, for you, are candidates for, top 5 positions, maybe victory. So you're going to be looking at those rehearsals probably more carefully than others. What are you looking for? Starting with Italy, what would you like to see for them to do well?
Well, we have seen their live performance already in Sanremo. We have seen that they end up with their bicycle on stage. So kind of know what their act will be like. They will not be twisting that too much, I guess. So from Italy, I think it will be probably the same.
But then what's important for them? Like even looking at the smaller details, then what do you think is important for them that they have to get that part right if they want to be 3, 2, 1 in the final ranking?
I would say connection with the camera. If the chemistry between those two singers is catched on camera, that should be the gaining point, the winning points.
All right, then let's move on to another performance that we've already seen during a national final and that you like their chances, which is from Norway, Subwoofer.
Yeah.
What is important for them? I mean, we know what
It's a fun
we know what
entry.
they're going to look like. We know
Yes.
that they're going to have fun on stage. But when you see their rehearsal and you think, well, this is a candidate for victory, what details are you looking at that they need to get just right?
I would say the same word, connection, but this time the other way around. Because they are masked, they have sunglasses, there is hardly a possibility to get connected with the artist.
Yeah.
So now you have to watch and see if the act is strong enough to survive without the connection. So they only want to give the happy vibe, obviously, and the weird vibe and the fun vibe. And if they manage to transpose that to the viewer, then it's a good act.
So like maybe in Italy you have to connect more on a
Emotionally-
personal, on a
emotionally-
personal,
on emotional
way.
level.
And here it is
The
more
fun
like-
level.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, then the third one, maybe of the ones that you mentioned, is maybe the most interesting one, which is the UK, because that's the one that we haven't seen in a live performance.
And they have a history. Let's agree on that. No, it's not agree. It's a fact. The double nil last year because of the big trumpets. BBC has a history of fucking up the whole act, even if they have a nice song. This time they have a good song, in my opinion, a good singer. So for a change, a good song and a good singer. So if they really mess it up now with the act, it would be really shameful.
They're high up in the ranks, not just on your personal list, but with the bookmakers as well. So there are going to be a lot of people watching that rehearsal very closely. You're one of them. You say they need to get it right this time. Of course, there's a lot of pressure on them. But be more specific now. What do you want? Because well, first of all, let's put it this way: how are they going to stage this song? We've only seen a video clip.
Well, I've heard one talking about this, and he said, "Watch it because this one is special." So that set the alarm for me, and also because we know he has a big following on TikTok. You know, the sponsor who has the exclusive footage now. So I think what we should look for is, has his act the same sphere of TikTok content people tend to like? Because his followers, if they follow him, they get connected to this song as well, they will vote.
Yeah.
And that's a big group.
And one more important thing to notice is that we saw in the item at the beginning of this show, we saw Twan say that people were not allowed to have their singer fly onto the stage in Rotterdam, but that was Rotterdam and this is Turin, so who never knows? Maybe he'll come. He really will come down from space, man. All right.
Same joke. That must be a good one.
Well, it must be a good one. All right. Well, thank you very much going through all these top favorites with me. Of course, in the next couple of days, you'll also be helping out Team ESC Daily. You're going to be describing not just these performances, but all of the performances.
Not only the 4 interesting ones.
in the most detail possible, and people can follow that on escdaily.com on our articles, which we call the All Performances article, where you can see all performances of semi-final 1, semi-final 2, and the grand final to know in detail what they will look like. But you're also here not just as a journalist, but also for OGAE. And I want to have just one small question. When we go into that second week, when now the journalists are here, the fans will arrive here in a couple of days. What can they expect from their Turin experience?
I'm sorry to say, but I think there will be a little bit of disappointment for the fans because the Eurovillage is not built up yet. There's supposed to be Eurocafe, which
No
is
Euroclub, right?
Euroclub, Eurocafe, both are. One is for delegations and one is for fans. For the fans, there is a small club arranged by fans. It's already sold out. So if you don't have tickets, sorry, too late.
It's the alternative Euroclub, basically, but it's sold
it's
out
the alternative one, and the official one has no program in it with Eurovision items. So, shame. So I don't know about the organizers this year.
All right then. Well,
Let's prove us wrong.
I hope so. I certainly hope so for all the fans. But for us as journalists, I should tell you that if the program is really that serious this year, then we might have to get serious as well. Not party at all and just focus on giving you the best possible Eurovision coverage of this year's Eurovision Song Contest, which we at escdaily.com will of course try to do. So stay tuned to ESC Daily for our live blog, for the All Performances article with Eric, and for more episodes of the ESC Daily Show. Thank you for watching and good night.